Hey friends, I'm Amy and today we're making one of the most delicious dishes ever, Huli Huli chicken. This dish, it's a popular Hawaiian barbecue. It's commonly seen at roadside shops where the chicken is constantly flipped or turned over a wood-burning grill, and indeed huli means to turn or to flip. So, we're making an oven version of this to try. We're also going to make some grilled pineapple and a lightly fragrant coconut rice to go along with our chicken. And you definitely don't want to miss this because the sauce for Huli Huli chicken is possibly one of the best chicken glazes ever made. So let's get cooking. Right up front though, this dish does take 2 days to make, but day one is really easy. Even the cutting a chicken in half thing turned out to be much easier than I thought it would be. And yes, this is the first time I have ever cut a chicken in half. So yeah, start with a chicken and cut it in half. The best way for this is to start with the back. Find the spine and cut along one side of the spine starting at the rear until you get to the breastbone area. Then you'll have a little pop to go through the cartilage. Then cut along the other side of the spine, same thing, up to the front and pop through the cartilage. Then the spine should just fall right out and the chicken will just sort of unfold. For the other side though, the breast side, we need to cut through the breastbone, which can be a little more difficult. You can see me struggling a little here trying to get through that breastbone, but this reminded me of one of my husband's favorite sayings. A mechanic is only as good as his tools, so I got the cleaver. It went through that breastbone like butter, and now I have cut a chicken in half for the first time ever. Now we need to brine our chicken, which is really easy. In a large bowl, add water, not any specific measurement, just enough to start with. Pour in 1 cup of apple cider vinegar and some salt. Usually you want about a 1/4 cup of salt for a whole chicken, but you can go with however much you prefer. Whisk everything together until they're all combined and the salt has melted into the liquids, and this is our brine. The brine's going to break down the muscle proteins and the chicken will draw in moisture, which is going to make our chicken tender and juicy. Then just place the chicken halves into the bowl. If you don't have enough water to completely submerge the chicken, just add more water until the chicken is fully covered. This is why I normally just add a little water to mix everything together and then add more until it's good and everything's covered up. Pop a lid on the bowl or cover it with some plastic wrap and let this chicken brine in the fridge for at least 12 hours, but 24 is even better. And that is it for day one. Okay, hi from tomorrow. We want to start this next step earlier in the day, and it's time for that legendary marinade glaze mix. In a medium saucepan, add 1 cup of pineapple juice, and this can be canned or fresh. Add 1½ tablespoons of grated ginger, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, which is about 2 to 3 cloves worth. Add a 1/4 cup of either tomato sauce or ketchup, either one is good. A 1/4 cup of either honey or brown sugar, and I'm using honey. Add a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar and a 1/2 cup of either chicken stock or a white cooking wine. Add a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Wow, a lot of 1/4 cups here. A 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, and very last, a very little bit of liquid smoke, especially if you're using the oven like I am and not an outdoor wood grill over kiave wood, which is a specific type of mesquite wood. Whisk everything together well and then bring this to a boil over medium heat. Then turn the heat down to medium-low and simmer the sauce for 30 minutes until it reduces almost by half and becomes more of a syrup and less brothy. Stir this pretty often so nothing sticks or scorches, especially if you use brown sugar. Then remove the sauce from the heat and let it cool for at least 30 minutes. Okay, half an hour later, and it's time to get our chicken out of the fridge. So this chicken has been brining away for almost 24 hours. Remove the chicken from the brine and rinse it thoroughly under cool water. Then put both of the chicken halves into a gallon-sized bag, like a Ziploc bag or a freezer bag, and add about half of the marinade we made into the bag. After 30 minutes, the marinade may still be a little warm, but it won't be too hot to handle, and more importantly, it won't be too hot for a plastic bag. Smoosh everything around well so all the chicken is coated in the glaze, and then pop this right back into the fridge to marinate for 3 more hours. For that other half of the marinade, pour it into a container and then set it aside for later. 3 hours later, and we're ready to start cooking. First, preheat the oven to 375 degrees. Grab a baking sheet and line it with foil, and it's best if you have one that has a wire rack in it. If not, it's okay. You'll just want to flip the chicken a little more often so the skin has a chance to get nice and crispy. Remove the chicken from the bag, but don't rinse it off this time. We want that delicious marinade, and we want even more than this. Place the chicken on the baking sheet with space between the halves, and grab that second half of the marinade that we set aside. Brush some of that marinade on the chicken, and pop it in the oven for 15 minutes. Then pull it back out of the oven and flip it over. Brush the marinade on the chicken again and pop it back into the oven for another 15 minutes. Then back out of the oven, flip it over, brush on the marinade, and back in. Keep going every 15 minutes until the chicken reads at least 165, which was about 45 minutes for me. You can also turn the oven up to 400 for the last 15 minutes to get a nice, really crispy skin. As you can see, mine got just a little dark on its last round in some spots, but it wasn't actually burnt, it was just deliciously crispy and caramelized. While that chicken was going, I also whipped up some light coconut rice in my rice cooker. This is so easy, and it turned out so well that this rice is probably going to happen a lot in my house now. To the rice cooker, add 1 cup of well-rinsed long grain white rice, 1 3/4 cup of coconut water, a tablespoon of either avocado or coconut oil, and a pinch of salt. Stir this up well and then set the rice cooker to the white rice setting, and done. A nice light coconut rice in the rice cooker so I don't have to worry about it while I'm flipping chicken. Last, I wanted to grill up some pineapple slices. So you can use fresh or canned pineapple rings for grilled pineapple, but I wanted to try my hand at using a whole pineapple since I've never cut one of those up before either. I've always just used the canned stuff or the pre-cut stuff that you can get in the produce section at the store. So here we go. To cut my pineapple, first I cut off the top and the bottom. Then I peeled it basically with the knife, just cutting the rind off until I had a big old lump of pineapple. I sliced it into 6 big slices and then used a small biscuit or cookie cutter to remove the core from the slices. And that's it. I cut up my first pineapple and it was way easier than I thought it would be. I also sprinkled on a little brown sugar and cinnamon on the slices so they'll caramelize a little while they grill. But that part's completely optional though. You don't have to add anything and grilled pineapple will still taste incredible. To grill it, I got to use the newest cast iron addition to my kitchen, this fabulous grill pan. Heat the pan up over medium-high heat and brush it with some oil or butter, making sure to coat the ribs of the pan. When the pan's hot, add some rings and let them sit for about 2 to 3 minutes without messing with them at all so they get those cool grill lines on them and the sugar caramelizes. Then flip them over and cook the other side the same way. Remove the grilled pineapple slices from the pan and keep on going until all 6 are done. So Huli Huli chicken is just legendary. The chicken is tender and juicy, the skin is crispy. The sauce is sort of like a citrusy teriyaki if I'm trying to simplify the flavor, but it has so much more depth than that. It's sweet and citrusy, yes, but it's also tangy and savory and aromatic. The sauce itself is simple to make, and it's definitely going into my regular recipes list. The rice, I did think it would maybe be a little bland since there's no sauce or anything to go with it, but it doesn't need anything. It has a lovely savory and aromatic flavor. It's delicious. The grilled pineapple, well, it's pineapple. But the brown sugar and cinnamon with the warm fruit was so comforting, and the fresh citrus paired beautifully with the chicken. I would highly recommend giving this one a try. This meal was absolutely delicious. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Maybe leave me a comment below if you love Hawaiian food and hulihulichicken as much as I do now. Stay tuned on Wednesdays because we're making all our favorite restaurant, takeout, and fast foods at home. We're getting at least double the food for half the cost, and the food is turning out so much better than anything at the restaurants. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back here next Wednesday for another comforting, cozy, home-cooked meal. Bye!